Hey guys, I'm RozaldVane and welcome back to another episode of Zero Escape 999. 9 hours, 9 people, 9 doors. The last episode, we finished out the ending, sort of, kind of. Sorry for the loud noise in the back from the game itself. But yeah, we're basically at the second to last part of the ending. Once we hit this point, it's pretty much the ending of the game, so that's pretty much where we're at in this game. We're going to close this out for the series, and then again, I'll put my opinions and thoughts. It's been a week since the last episode, so I've got enough time to kind of simmer and sit with this ending and everything else, but we'll see.
俺はギガントを脱出してからも本郷の悪事について独自に捜査を進めていた。で、いろいろと調べていく間に自然とギガントの歴史についても詳しくなっていき。
Right, I forgot to mention, yeah, this is at the point where Junpei was asking Seven about how he knew about the ship and stuff, and so I think he's just jumping into explaining about that. So it's, yeah, I'm guessing that's what we're at here, I guess.
その中でゴルダイン教のことやアリスのことについて知ったんだ。
答えになってない。俺が知りたいのは常温でも溶けない体を持った少女なんてものが実在するのかどうかだ。
Hongo. Sounds like Hongo has something to say. Alright, fine. I'll let you talk, but you gotta behave.
なんだ。
アリスなんてものは存在しない。今から9年前、私はボトムデッキの書庫の奥でアリスの棺を見つけた。
Oh?
しかし中に収められていたのはただの植物の根だけだったんだ。
Huh?
調べてみると、それはナス科の植物マンドラゴラの足であることが分かった。
It's a mandrake. I think that's what they're called. I forget if the mandrake is I forget where I learned that term. If that was like the root plant of mandrakes.
さらに抽出した成分からはアルカロイドの一種が、それをもとにして私は麻酔薬マンドレインの開発に成功したのだ。
Okay. I guess that's a plant that seems relevant to our situation of the story.
その後我が社の業績は目覚ましく発展し、
So his business basically started up because of the plant. Crap, this is gonna go on forever. Tape's going back on go. The rest of my questions can wait a bit. Now, I think I'll just enjoy the ride. Back to the memory.
これやるよ。
何ですかこれ。
フォーユー人形の純平くんだ。
Called the doll. Called the doll as his name. Junpei pulled something out of his pocket and shoved out his arm towards me. In his hand was a doll made of yarn, small enough to fit in his palm.
俊平くん、フォーユー人形って。
ああ、店員のお姉さんが言ってたんだ。これはフォーユー人形ですってさ。
もしかしてブードゥー人形と間違えてません？
Why the hell would you say it's a voodoo doll? What? That is so weirdly out of the left field.
いや、でも、
見た目からするとブードゥー人形で間違いないと思いますよ。
じゃあこいつを純平くんって呼ぶのはやめた方がいいかもしれないな。
Okay, I see what he meant. Yeah, she meant that the doll has a name, and the doll names after himself, and so it becomes more like a voodoo doll. Also, I accidentally cut out her second line by accident. Oh right, I forgot. Some of these lines could go off to my face cam again.
それよりもどうしたんですか？いきなり。
It just says it really seems. It just seems really sudden. Yeah, it just the really got cut off.
その6月になったら俺たちあんまり会えなくなっちまうだろ。住んでるところの学区違うしさ。
Oh, I see. They moved apart from the different school.
それでなんていうか
Excuse me.
わかりました。それじゃあこの人形、ジューンって呼ぶのはどうですか？
Oh, interesting.
わかった
I didn't know a doll would tie into the story because of the fact that it's called June.
だからこれやる
Wait, he has another thing for her?
その言い方、なんだかどこかの部族の棟梁みたい。
Sorry, I don't know if it's... You sound like a tribal chief in a bad movie because I don't know what parts of it is the tribal chief in the sentence, but I do think that she said you reminded me of something from a movie I watched or something like that. But then again, I don't know. I guess they just want to spice it up by saying tribal chief in a bad movie.
そう俺棟梁これ部族に伝わる伝説のお守り
Yeah, it might be the tribe thing, yeah. Because I guess there's a cultural thing. Yeah, the word got cut off as bad, then bad movie, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know too much about this cultural thing, about the tribal chief thing in a movie kind of thing. Kind of interested what reference is trying to pull from that.
だからこれお前にやる俺の代わりだと思えそうすれば俺たちずっと一緒
My god, he's speaking in broken English.
俊平くん。
何か困った時これ握りしめて祈れ
Oh.
いつだからほら持っていけ
I reached my hand out and picked up the doll gently.
ありがとう。ありがとう。俊平くん。
Before I knew it, I was crying. Tears streamed down my face, and I fell onto June's tiny yarn body.
私、俊平くんのこと忘れないから。絶対に忘れないから。
Junpei looked straight into my eyes and said just 5 words.
俺もだ
The sky was beautiful crimson red. Was a beautiful crimson red. The sky was a beautiful crimson red as it melted down towards the horizon. The last golden ray of sunlight stretched out across the city and painted themselves across the hills. We sat bathed in the warm light of evening. Just the two of us, leaning gently against one another, shoulder to shoulder. The sun set and we still didn't leave. We watched in silence as the darkness deepened, and one by one, the lights of the town began to flicker on. Oh, that is a beautiful sight to have, honestly. Where it's just like the sun goes down, and then the lights just flicker on from a distance. You know, that would be such a cool, like, thing to see in, like I've played the games from Suda 51, the Silver Case and 25th Ward. If you haven't caught those guys yet, I'd recommend you guys check them out on the channel, or if you haven't played them yet, I would definitely point them on Steam, but this is not the game for that. But the point is that, like, I think that there's some level of interesting things that could happen where in, like, those games, they have, like, these cinematics, animation stuff going on for, like, 3D stuff, and I think this game could have had some of that a little bit. I do know that there's some 3D elements in VLR, which is the Virtue's Last Reward. I think it was the next game that's coming after this one. But I don't know to what extent it has with the 3D elements of stuff. I mean, the game does have some 3D elements in this game, but it's just not much to the animation stuff, I guess. Like the animation stuff to the anime parts of the cutscenes and stuff. But anyways, back to the present time. There's still one thing I don't get. To be honest, it's the biggest mystery as far as I'm concerned, and also the only one that's really important. It has to do with June and Akane. 9 years ago, she died in the incinerator on Lake Gigantic. But she's still alive now as June. But how? Was it because I tapped into the morphic field shield field set and saved her 9 years ago. Alright, let's say that makes some kind of insane sense. If I did that, then how do I make sense of what 7 remembers? Snake makes sense, he's blind. He couldn't have seen the body, her body anyway. But 7, he said he was sure he saw it. Does that mean there's some kind of historical discrepancy? Or, wait, maybe that's not it at all. There is one other logical explanation. Was what you told me the truth, 7? You look satisfied. No way. Oh, he's coming to the conclusion that 7 was in on the whole thing because of Santa and 0 as well. He couldn't.
ねえ見てあれ誰か道の端に立ってるみたい
He couldn't.
え
I just love 7's like voice on that. Oh, are we finally seeing an anime sequence for once? Of them bumping into... Oh, it's Alice! And her ice melted, I think. I'm so confused with that. The burning gaze of the Nevada sun pounded down on her head. The desert around her rippled beneath. Standing there on that simmering plain was a woman, her arms out and her thumb up. It would not be long enough before Junpei realizes who she was. What the hell is Alice doing? And really? That's how you're ending this game? So all this time when they said there was a lie that Alice does not exist, suddenly she exists out of existence at the end here? Oh, there's an end. Don't forget your towel achievement unlocked. Okay, so that's the last achievement I'm assuming there. Would you like to save the info you obtained during the playthrough? After saving, the game will restart from the beginning, so just click on the save. Oh, no, not this one. The next one. This is the last one. Ah, so we got June's face as the flow, the last flow ending. Alright, cool. Yeah, that's the end of the game. Wow. So we've explored every ending that is given in this game. So that's that. Yeah. Oh. Oh wait, no, it goes back to the beginning of the game. I forgot about that. Right. Menu, please. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Did not save, would return? Yes, I want to return to the title screen. Alright, cool. That's that. Is there a credits button? God, I would have loved to have a quick go to like, no, not preview. I wanted to go to a quick credits of stuff, but I just can't do that because it requires that I would have to like. Oh, I see. There's just some memories of stuff. Yeah, there's just memories of how to get out of the space, I think. All right. Anyways, there might be some cinematics playing in the background here, so I might have to click every now and then where the game doesn't start playing some random stuff. Or maybe I might just silence it entirely and then just talk about my thoughts and opinions. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me for Zero Escape 999. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, as you can see from the screen here. Yeah, it's a game that I remember playing on the Nintendo DS. And I don't remember a lot per se, but I do remember some of the endings here, like the gut stabbing of Lotus on one of the scenes, Yellow Submarine I do remember, and the weird Alice scene. I actually do remember it because it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, wait, what? What is this ending? With Alice is like just doing her thumbs up to like get a ride, hitch a ride kind of thing. It was kind of weird to me. My expectation for that was like, you know, seeing June hop into hug Junpei with Santa by the car or something like that. Like, that was my expectation of the ending, but instead they just threw a wrench at it and said, hey, there's Alice. Yeah, that's my ending. That's great. And that kind of feels weird and kind of feels like, yeah, but I guess the truth is what matters the most instead of the emotional, you save Akane from her death from the past or something like that. I just feels like it just feels kind of weird and sad. Oh, there's the thing. Anyways, try not to be distracted by this for myself. Yeah, as I said, I'm gonna silence the music or anything, so it doesn't really have any sound to it, unfortunately. Actually, no. You know what? I'm just gonna click in it just to stop it because I don't want to think about it right now. Or maybe let's go to options and then yeah, let's leave it at that because I don't want to have it where it distracts me mostly. But yeah, I really like the game a lot for its storytelling elements. Like some of the elements of storytelling was really cool. I like the branching narrative sections of it, very small and contained, but it was good enough to get to the point across, I think. A lot of the times I think the storytelling can be very upfront, but at the same time it explains too much to a point where I'm like, there's no room for like mystery kind of thing. Like I understand that the game wants to present a story that prevents like plot holes. Like it's trying to stop any plot holes that can be created in the game, and so that the person who plays the game doesn't really try to ask any more questions at the end. Like it just feels like a satisfactory movie ending thing kind of thing, which I feel like hurts the story itself, where it over explains too much things, and I'm like, I don't think it really matters because I'm never going to think about that. Maybe some people who will actually like try to figure it out by looking it up on the internet, but I guess during the time of this development of the game is probably like internet wasn't as probably prominent. Maybe I don't know when this game was developed overall, but or maybe the people weren't expecting people to look it up online or anything, or look up books related to topics like that, because it is a pseudoscience style of storytelling where it uses pseudoscience as its backdrop. So it's like I don't expect it to be like anything too realistic, too interesting, to be like so deep and like to a point, but it just feels like I think that there could have been some room to leave for players to decide that mystery for themselves rather than filling all the information for that. I think it's kind of part of that horror movie kind of questioning thing. Like we have a trope in horror movies that like people who watch horror movies get too much exposition, too much explanation about like how the ghost came to be, how the monster came to be, how the person turned into an evil person or whatever, and then it gets kind of unsurprising and uninteresting, and like to a point where like the ones that are pretty good are the ones who don't want to answer the questions for you and lets you decide on what kind of thing it is. And same goes for the ending here. Like it's letting us decide on what the hell do we think is this ending, with Alice, you know, doing the whole like thumbs up to say, hey, I need a hitch a ride. So it's kind of like that where I'm just like, okay, you give me good things, but then you give me bad things of like so much of the stuff I don't want to know about or think about until you bring it up, you know. Like it could have been just at the ending where Junpei remembers back to that memory of talking with Akane as a kid, but not back and forth it. Instead, just do that whole sequence and then come back to his present time, throw the questions in his head, and then he would ask a few questions to Hongo, and Seven would answer as well with Hongo, but then not so much as get all the answers and stuff like that. Because I felt like Hongo explained away the reason behind the whole old experiment too easily, and I'm just like, I'd rather it just be like a question mark in my head than to hear the answer as, oh yeah, it's because it's for me. It's like, alright, there's no mystery behind it, why? And it also hurts the chances of me knowing what the sequel is then, because it also makes it weirder that the next game is another non-honorary game thing. So I'm just like, how this works as a context for the secondary game, I wonder. But anyways, that's pretty much it for what I would say for the story side of the game. Because this game has a lot of focus on the story, I think, and there's a lot more story critique than there is anything else, I think. The puzzle elements are really fun, I think. I just wish there were more, a little bit, like a teeny smidge more, like story elements could have been fine, I think. I think a lot of times I wish there wasn't a lot of breakpoints in trying to tell the story while you're solving the puzzle, because you kind of sometimes lose focus on your puzzle hunting stuff, and you get annoyed sometimes. Like I got annoyed early on, and then I was like, screw it, it's the nature of visual novels, you need to actually listen and read through a lot of these texts, which is fine. I like reading through the text for visual novel sequence. Like I played through the Yakuza series, has a lot of non-voice audio, non-voice dialogue. I've went through Persona, sometimes also the same thing where there's no voicing in the audio, I've been through like some JRPGs as well that has heavy text loads, and I'm just like, okay, sure, I'll read through it like through my head voice, and like I don't really think it's that bad. I just think that it's just sometimes the flow pacing is just sometimes getting cut off a lot with the puzzle elements and the visual novel elements, because you kind of expect a certain way with some of these parts of the games. But anyways, puzzle elements, great. Artistic details, really cool to swap between 3D and 2D was really nice, and I love the anime and animations to it is really cool too. I think the theme of being on a ship was really awesome too, and the UI is pretty simplistic. I think I don't like the fact that there's 2 different UI HUDs. I just wish there was only one, but I think it's just to determine the story's time sequence and stuff, like present time, past time, and stuff like that. I think that's what it's trying to do, but it just feels a little bit weird to have 2 different like UI controls for text, and it's just getting it's kind of weird. That's all I could say. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So anyways, all in all, I think that it is worth a try for anybody who hasn't tried it. I'll leave a link to the game that you can pick up on, which is the Nonary Games, I believe it was, which includes this game, 999, and VLR, Virtue's Last Reward. Both of them are in one pack, which, if you're wondering if I'm going to be playing Virtue's Last Reward, yes, I'm literally going to be jumping into it right after this episode, because I'm just like, screw it, I'm just going to just start right away, get it through as fast as possible, or get as much as possible done, and then, like, hit it where it needs to be hit. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for this game. I do remember somebody said somewhere, I can't remember where it happened. Did the game die? I didn't even do anything, really. Oh yeah, the game died. The game crashed as I was holding onto the option screen for too long. I think it's because they were trying to loop the thing in. They're trying to, like, play the cinematics and stuff, but it just couldn't. Okay, I'll leave it at a black screen here for now. But my point is that, like, yeah, like, if anything, I think that this game is definitely really interesting, and if you haven't played it for yourself, I definitely would say so. Like, sometimes I might have missed out on a dialogue or something where you might want to try to solve a puzzle a different way or something than I did. I can definitely recommend it for sure, if you want to try it out for yourself. Definitely a really interesting game, and I really hope to see more people try it out and everything and kind of get through it. But yeah, links down below to the game and the pack of where the game comes from. What else is there? Otherwise, that's pretty much it for the series in this game. If you guys want to check out other games that I've played a lot of other visual novel based games where I read the most dialogues, or I don't read the dialogues, which comes from, like, other kind of visual novel style sense of, like, games. But yeah, I'll leave a link to, or an annotation to something there in the end of this video, and then that would be pretty much it. But yeah, I forgot to mention, I was in mid-thought and then I just lost it. Somebody told me that the game was written backwards. I don't know who said it or where I found that information, but this was one of those games that the developer wrote the game backwards, which was interesting because they started with the ending and then worked their way back, which I think is an interesting style of writing, but I never really thought that that would be how they did it. I wonder, like, some of the process of it, because I wonder if they started the ending and then had to develop, like, the necessary characters, because it seems like 3 of the characters, or multitudes of the characters, don't show up until a lot way sooner in the middle or at the very beginning, because at the ending here with Alice and stuff, it's like, if they wrote the game backwards for this one, which I don't know if this is the one that they wrote backwards for, then it's, like, interesting to see what characters get lost in the shuffle and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, my point is done anyways, and that's pretty much it for the series. So yeah, again, see you guys in Virtue's Last Reward if you guys are going to continue into that. If not, check out other things that I've played that are visual novel based. And if not that, then I hope you guys have a great, amazing day, weekend, night, or whenever watching this. And hope you guys have a great, amazing day, weekend, night, or whenever watching this. I don't know why I said it twice. Anyways, other than that, Roz out.